my opinion is, I think Francis don't necessarily try to box Tyson Fury. Go out there, make it awkward, make it uncomfortable. When you haven't fought an MMA fighter that boxes differently, there's a case to be made that those punches are come at you from different angles, and Tyson Fury has acknowledged that himself as well. So I think Francis has to use what he's got, what's different about him, and if he can land, he can knock anybody out.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Nice insight there from Caroline Pierce. I just pounced on my old pal Ziad Al-Mayouf, who we spoke to yesterday again, the leading light of Saudi pro boxing at the moment. We've seen you a few times over the last few months. You're nice and close to the ring here, having a look at Tyson Fury. Is he a fighter you particularly admire?
You know, it's just something you never get used to. Tyson Fury has always been an idol of mine, and I grew up watching him on TV. And for him to be in Saudi Arabia in front of my eyes right now is something, if you would have asked me 5, 7, 8 years ago and you told me would it happen, I'd tell you it's impossible. But anything is possible, I guess, in Saudi Arabia now and today.
Okay, Ziad, always good to see you. Always good to see you. Okay, let's just have a little bit more of a scout around. I think I might have run out of gas at ringside here just for the moment, so I'll slide back in behind the desk with Dev. Unless I've missed anyone out, I don't think I have. Everybody thronged around ringside, Dev.
I thought you was going to have to kick off there. He gave you a bit of a second take. I thought, are we going to see the fist fly of Andy Clark? But thankfully not. You've left it to the boxers. Well done.
No, it's always good fun. It's good fun roaming around because there's people who turn up at ringside during fight week, during fight night, who you don't necessarily expect to see, and that's another aspect about Saturday, isn't it? The list of names that we've been hearing who are going to be there in attendance it's something else.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. It's everyone who's everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of some of the best heavyweights ever will actually be here watching this. And hey, you may be looking at one of the best heavyweights ever. I think you are. He will tell you that he is the #1 heavyweight of all time. I've seen interviews with him this week saying that he doesn't believe anyone can beat him. And I think we're getting a bit of an indication here. We saw him do pads orthodox. We saw him do pads effortlessly in southpaw as well. 6'9", 270, 280 pounds. A nightmare to fight for any heavyweight.
Yes, and that's always been the thing with him. And what's been really interesting about the last few years has not just been the comeback, which was incredible really, but it was a stylistic shift after that first fight against Wilder. I'll be honest, I thought he took that fight against Wilder the first time around as a cash out. I think he'd had the first couple of comeback fights. He maybe felt it wasn't really there anymore, or he didn't really know if it was there anymore, and decided that he needed to take a big one for big money in case he lost to a lesser name in the meantime, and then that fight would disappear. And I was totally and utterly wrong. And sometimes being wrong is the best thing, because this sport has a way of surprising you. And sitting up late tonight watching that was incredible. Watching him get off the canvas in the 12th round was absolutely extraordinary. And off the back of that, you felt like he would think, well, I so nearly beat him coming back in from the cold. I just need to box like I did again, have some better judging at ringside, and I can beat him. But instead he decided to completely change style, change trainer, told us he was going to go out on a seek and destroy mission. I didn't really believe him, and then on the night he absolutely battered Deontay Wilder. It was, again, it was quite something to see, and that's how he's gone about it since.
Yeah, he absolutely has. And in terms of that first Deontay Wilder fight, I think sometimes, just like in boxing, as we see him bad up Sugar Hill there, sometimes it's all about timing. Tyson Fury spent so long out of the ring, had a couple of warm-up fights. He was really a sleeping giant in the heavyweight division. The guys at the top were Deontay Wilder, they were Anthony Joshua, but they weren't fighting each other. An opening opened up. Tyson Fury was there, he said, I'll fight him, and he walked right towards the fire that is Deontay Wilder. And hey, over 3 fights, he most certainly put that fire out. I think he's proved his worth in terms of that trilogy will be remembered for decades and decades to come.
It will. I was at the third fight at the T-Mobile in Las Vegas, and it's the best fight I've ever commentated on, and I'm not sure I'll get a better one.
Yeah.
because of the way that it toed and froed. To have a truly great fight, it has to go one way and then the other. Wilder started fairly well, I thought, getting on the jab. He was heavier for that fight than we'd seen him previously, but then he got put down, and you thought to yourself, okay, here we go again. And then in the next round, he got up and put Tyson down twice.
Yeah.
And the second time, he's kind of staring, not exactly vacantly out of the ring, but he was staying down, waiting for his faculties to come back before he got back up. And this is the amazing thing about these athletes, is that they have that ability to hear the count, realise where they are physically and mentally, that they're not ready, but 2 seconds later they can be. And he managed to get through it.
Yeah.
And then just took over again. But right the way up until the very end, Wilder was capable of hurting him. He did hurt him towards the end of the 10th, I think, before really in the 11th, Deontay Wilder collapsed through exhaustion. And I had enormous admiration for him that night, because to come back and fight the way he did after what happened to him in the second fight, we talked about it with Joseph Parker earlier on. Wilder showed us that he has got that dog. Absolutely. You know, you have to literally carry him out of there. And I think Fury, whether he cares to admit it or not, you know, has got a lot of respect for Wilder.
Of course, and look, you talk about Wilder's got the dog. Well, Tyson Fury most certainly has the dog. We were talking about this on the journey up here. Sometimes you just get fighters who have it, who refuse to lose, who have to be knocked out in order to leave the ring. Tyson Fury has that, but the thing is, you can't knock him out because he just gets back up again, and he's showing that in his career. And one thing I want to touch on, what we've seen in this workout, he's sitting down on some of his punches, not doing it just now, but he was sitting down on some of them, almost breaking the hands of poor Sugar Hill in there. And I guess that's the new style of Tyson Fury, the one that boxed Vladimir Klitschko back in 2015, fleet of foot, moving about, boxing moving. It feels like we don't see that guy anymore. This is now a 20-stone destroyer.
Yeah, exactly. It's still there if he needs it, that movement. He's 35 now, and you know,